Dr. Stone, Dr. Lawrence, I'm going to ask some questions for the benefit of veterans listening who may not have caught your full opening statements. I know the VA is working with the CDC on finalizing plans for distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine, and I understand that the vaccines will be distributed at 2 site locations per region, as determined by that VISN regional office. Can you go into detail about how those locations will be decided, what the prioritization is for receiving a vaccine among veteran population, and how do you plan to coordinate with states and other agencies to deliver to a wider population? I have, of course, a strong interest in Alaska, where we have a large veteran population, particularly in rural areas where healthcare infrastructure is limited and traveling to major cities like Anchorage or Fairbanks is not always so easy.
Senator, the initial distribution is dependent upon the presence of the refrigeration that will accommodate the vaccine.
So, I'm sorry, say that again.
The initial distribution was based on the presence of refrigeration that would accommodate the vaccine at the appropriate temperature, and then was matched to the concentration of veterans in that area.
So, not to interrupt, but that's kind of a 0 for 2 for me, because in our rural areas, we have a lot of veterans, but it's pretty sparse, and we have very limited refrigeration or even medical facilities. So I guess that's the challenge then, correct?
So I would look for the distribution into the Alaska area with the Moderna vaccine. We have negative 20-degree freezers there. And then we're going to need to do a secondary distribution of that vaccine. And if you heard my earlier comments, I think we're going to need aircraft to do that.
Okay, well, it would be helpful. I'm sure Alaska is not the only state similarly situated. I'm sure there are other big rural states. We're just the biggest rural state. And with so many veterans, perhaps maybe offline, not as part of this hearing, my team and I can make sure we're coordinating well, just because I've been doing this with General Perna and others. Just we have so many unique challenges in Alaska that a lot of other states don't have, given the size and the weather and challenges like that. How well do you think it's going in terms of your integration and coordination with other federal agencies, say DOD, and states? And I'm not just talking Alaska. Of course, I'd be interested in Alaska, but whether it's Kansas or any other place, Arkansas, how do you think that's going?
Early in this process and in this response, the Secretary called every governor in the nation and spoke to, I think, more than 46 of them.
Good.
That contact opened a methodology that we now have supported 47 different states in providing VHA services, personnel, or consultation, or even PPE to support the states across the way. So I think that's going very well. I think that this is a Herculean effort that nobody's done for 100 years. And even when the Sabin and Salk vaccines were released, I think there is I can remember, I'm old enough to remember my parents taking me and driving to get the vaccine. We are going to have some difficulties reaching rural areas, but you have our commitment that we will work diligently until every veteran is delivered this vaccine, and we assure the safety of the population that is enrolled with us.
Good. I appreciate the hard work you guys are putting into this, and the Secretary on down. Let me ask one final question. How is the VA coordinating with IHS to make sure that the native veteran and non-native veteran populations served in those hospitals through the VA tribal sharing agreements are accurately accounted for in the VA's vaccine distribution plan. You have some overlap there that in some ways could be good. I think overlap is good, but falling through the cracks would be bad.
Yeah, our allotment is not part of the IHS allotment.
Yeah.
We expect IHS to receive an allotment, and we've expressed to their leadership that we are more than happy to come in and support them should they need support.
Good.
In providing this. We also have over 100 agreements with individual tribes that operate their own systems, and we extend the same and extend it today. We extend the same commitment that we will come and help if they need support. Every day, my deputy, Steve Lieberman, sits with FEMA and HHS looking at requests for support in an effort to assure at the highest levels of VHA we are responding appropriately and as agilely as possible.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for your hard work on this very important issue. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Senator Sullivan, you are such a diligent advocate for Alaska and its unique nature. This is the first time, though, I've ever heard you complain that you have lack of refrigeration.
Well, you notice I mentioned Kansas, too. So
Yes, I appreciate that as well. Thank
I
you.
didn't mention North Carolina, though. I did mention Arkansas.